Stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we get started, there's two items that I want to cover. First, I want to welcome our Mansky, who we should hire to bring on for finances and accounting. You want to give a little of your background, Barb?
Good evening, everyone. Let me learn this again. First, I wanted to thank the supervisors for selecting me and giving me the opportunity to come here and work for the citizens of the township. A little bit about me: I was a borough treasurer for 15 years, and most recently, I was a municipal pension auditor with the Auditor General's office. That was an at-home job. I'm more of a social person, and I am lucky to have been able to get this position, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you, Barb, and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to the agenda, before we get to visitor and public comment, we're going to run through the 2026 preliminary budget.
Yes.
So I realize that this screen needs to be 3 times this size, but I'm going to try, and if I can enlarge it and help you out, I will. So, first of all, let me get this a little bit smaller. Can you read it at all?
No.
Okay. Well, I will enlarge it here. So our total assessed value, hang on guys, I'm going to work with me here a little bit. This is why I need them. So our total assessed value for Lancaster Township, all our properties combined, according to Butler County, is approximately $42,319,218. In order to compute what our estimated taxes are for 2026, not considering any kind of growth, this is based strictly on what we have right now, our general fund, our property taxes will be $317,393. That's what we bring in for property taxes. Fire tax, which is a pass-through tax, is $126,958. Hydrant tax, $39,451. That has gone up because we have more homes that have been finished in Arden Woods, and more homes have been added to the hydrant tax. So that's why that went up a little bit over 25.
And the fire and the hydrant we pay.
If they come in and go out, yes. Switch this around. We didn't have time to PDF this, we got kind of busy. So I did a pie chart of our tax revenue to show you the revenues for the township and how the revenues are divided out. So you can see the dark green is your real estate tax. That's the taxes you pay on your tax bill directly to Lancaster Township. That funds roads and infrastructure here. The bigger blue box is earned income. That's working people in Lancaster Township. If they work in Lancaster Township, like these employees, they pay 0.5% to Lancaster Township, 0.5% of their total salary to Lancaster. If you live and work in Lancaster, you'll pay 1% So when you work, you're a working individual, you pay 0.5% to where you live and 0.5% to the area where you work. So that's where we get that large earned income. And that grew pretty dramatically this past year. You see the fire mill tax, again, we talked about that. That's the tax that goes directly to the fire district. We also have the foreign fire tax, which is, it funds like the auxiliary and special services. It is paid directly from the state. You don't pay that out of any kind of fee. It comes from the state and comes down to us, and we pay it. It's a pass-through that goes directly to, I think it's called Harmony Fire Relief Fund. Local service tax is small. That's the LST tax. And that's $52 annually that comes from anybody whose primary job is in Lancaster Township. Hydro tax, we talked about. Per capita tax is a head count tax. We don't actively collect that. That's something that we're looking at. That's the $5 tax that everybody pays that's over 18, whether you work or not. And real estate transfer tax is whenever you sell your property, there's a 1% tax that goes directly to, if it's a property in Lancaster, it comes here. So earned income, real estate transfer, and real estate taxes are by far our largest tax base. And we will get to the next slide that tells you how much that is. Can you see that at all? Let me enlarge that a little bit. Sorry guys, we're posting this on the website tomorrow, so you'll be able to review it. Real estate taxes, we budgeted $291,000, a little more than $291,000 last year. And for 2026, we actually brought in $317,000 this year. So I didn't base it on any growth, that we're not going to have any kind of development. So I wanted to keep the budget very conservative in case we do not grow.
And that was true across all towns, not just Durham.
Correct. So all of these taxes here, you see the hydro taxes, the fire taxes, they will increase a little bit. Transfer tax, we saw an increase there. And earned income tax actually came in, I budgeted $580 last year. It came in at $720 this past year. So I kept those numbers the same. Even at that, we had a $313,000 increase over last year's budget. So that's how much our big budget increased just in tax revenue.
That's between 2024.
Correct, from 25 to 26. And that's based on actual numbers. That's how much our budget that's how much more we actually brought in. So here, this is a breakdown of all the income that we bring into the township. So taxes are 70% of what we bring in. Services bring in about 14%. Licensing and permits are 10.7%. Those increased as well. Fines, interest, and other things, and miscellaneous revenue are considerably smaller. But you can see the breakdown of the income that we bring in. If Lancaster does not grow, and we continue to provide services, and we have increased services, we have limited amounts we get from liquid fuels, etc. But this is an area of the services and licenses and permits that we can increase, and we have increased this year. That is another reason that when I came here, we had very, very little staff, and there was no one to do any of the work. The manager couldn't do it all. We've increased the revenue from those sources.
And so we increased all of these fees. Last year.
We did.
And we did it and sort of did a pretty comprehensive study of what other townships are charging. We were significantly behind, and we still, there will be increases again, likely this year. But we're doing a much better job collecting fees too. So this is information on our other income, and we can go through these, but I'm not sure you want me to go through every one. If you look at it, if you have any questions, you can email us or contact us and question it. But our biggest income is the waste facility fee from Seneca landfill, and that's $182,000. So I did not project any growth there.
There's a couple of the municipal pension state aid, that's a pass-through. We get the money, but it goes back out, and it funds our pension. Another one is the cable television franchise fee. It went down this year. We got less than we anticipated. And then licenses and permits, highway occupancy permits, we were able to get a better handle on that because we had Ed actively working on that, Sylvia supporting him. So we increased that from $300 to $1,500 just this year. And we're working to make sure that everyone that's driving on our roads that are using them illegally are bonded. Subdivision and land development, we've had a lot of speculation coming in. So I budgeted $50,000 for 2025. It came in higher, and we anticipate that just the fees that they'll pay to introduce the idea of land development, we expect those to increase as well. Building permits were down this year. Inspection permit fees were up, or excuse me, down, down. But overall, we've had a greater increase in interest earnings as well. So we're trying to put as much money as we can into high interest funds and maintaining it there to preserve our capital. So you can see overall, other revenue increased $106,737 as opposed to our predicted amount, which was pretty accurate for the year before, but we grew that this year. So the budget is a statutory document. You just don't know. You know, we're basing this on information. I've been here for 2 years. I've worked with the supervisors and staff to try to determine numbers, and we try to be as accurate as we can. It's always nice when the numbers come in considerably higher, or the revenue comes in considerably higher, and you're able to keep your costs down.
We try to understate and over.
Agreed. So the predicted, the estimated budget for 2026 has increased from 1.8 million to 2.239, which is an increase of $546,497. That is a conservative number. That's based on what we actually brought in 2025 over 24. Sorry, my slide's a little skewed here. Now we'll talk about expenditures. So in the past, we didn't break out the expenditures. We put all of the road department insurances and a lot of the other costs. We still, workman's comp is under just administrative costs. I didn't break that out. But you can see that public safety, police is approximately 30% of our budget. Road department is 16% of our budget. And administrative costs, which are all our costs to do business, are 53.6%. Our administrative expenditures are broken out here. Health and welfare, 23%. Wages, 21%. Other employment costs, 24%. Here, let me bring this screen up so you can get an idea. And we give you an idea of what each of those categories are. We don't go into great detail there, but we give you just a bullet of what that is. But those expenditures are broken out in further detail down in the expenditure chart. We did add, we have added staff. We just brought on Barbara to our team. And our plan, our hope, is to eliminate the outside accounting service that we have. It's been a challenge audits and just the back and forth, to have someone that's actually in-house that can even answer the public's questions too. You know, it's normally, our accounting person is in Wisconsin now. So we're on a different time zone, and sometimes it's 18 hours before I get a response. So we're very hopeful, we would eliminate those costs, the cost of having that outside service, bring it in-house. Barbara's experience is extensive, so we're very excited to have her on board. It also gives us a layer of cross-training. So if somebody leaves or some positions change, you have somebody that, you have a team that's in place. You're not dependent on one person. We have multiple people that understand what's going on in their township.
I mean, our auditing services almost doubled.
They did double,
You know, it wasn't just us, we talked to the other townships.
everybody.
A lot of people use Maridoso and they doubled the price, so much.
That's all auditors, and a lot of municipal auditors are no longer practicing. They've completely gotten away from municipal work. They don't do it. So that's why they're so expensive. Nobody wants to do it. I broke out, so one thing is insurance increased by 12%, astronomical percent. And every municipality I've talked to is struggling with that very thing. We had, over the course of 25, we didn't anticipate, 2 of our police officers came off their wife's insurance because their wives restricted them. Their insurance restricted their policy. And so they brought their whole family onto our insurance, so it increased our costs. But we've been able to manage that without a problem. And we're working on ways to bring the cost down if we can. Let me see. Greg mentioned auditing. You could see it did double for the for yearly audit. Some costs went down, other costs went up. And you'll be able to go through this. I know you can barely see this, so. So you can see our budget numbers have increased across the